Welcome to Breakup Cheater, the place where real emotions, raw moments, and true human connections come to life. Here we dive deep into the complexities of love, heartbreak, forgiveness, and everything in between. If you're ready to feel, reflect, and maybe even heal alongside these stories, make sure to subscribe and join our community. Now, let's get into today's story. Have you ever said something in the heat of an argument that you instantly regretted? Words that cut deeper than you ever intended, leaving scars you didn't know could be reopened. Today's story is about Maya and Ethan, a couple whose love was tested by one careless sentence, one moment of silence, and the long, painful journey to forgiveness. Let's explore what happens when the quiet between two people speaks louder than any fight. Maya was determined to have the final word. She wanted to win the argument, to make her point so clearly and sharply that there would be no room for doubt. But in her rush to strike the closing blow, she didn't realize the weight of the words she was about to say, words that would shift everything between them. "You argue too much for a man," Maya snapped, her voice icy. "No wonder you're so small down there." The moment those words left her lips, the atmosphere in the room changed completely. The tension, which had been building like a storm ready to burst, didn't erupt in anger or shouting. Instead, it dissolved into a heavy, suffocating silence. Ethan didn't retaliate. He didn't shout back or throw an insult. Not even a single word escaped him. He simply stood still, frozen in place as if the room itself had suddenly become a cage. His jaw clenched tight, hands balled into subtle fists at his sides. His eyes, once fiery with frustration, darkened with something far deeper. Not anger but pain. Humiliation. A raw wound Maya hadn't intended to open, but now couldn't ignore. Without a word, Ethan turned on his heel and walked away. Maya remained where she was, stunned and waiting for the usual reaction. The heated comeback, the sharp retort, the familiar clash of wills they'd had countless times before. But it never came. Instead, the silence that followed was heavier than any argument they had ever had. Most couples shout, storm off, and then find their way back. That had always been the rhythm of Maya and Ethan's marriage, a fierce push and pull that ended with some kind of reconciliation. But this time everything felt different. That night, Ethan didn't return to their bedroom. At first, Maya told herself he just needed space, a moment to cool down. Maybe he'd slip back into bed after she was asleep. Maybe by morning things would feel normal again. But when she reached out to him the next day, his side of the bed remained untouched. Unease started to creep into her chest. This wasn't like him. No matter how bad their fights had been before, Ethan had always been physically there, even if emotionally distant. She got out of bed and searched the house. The kitchen, the living room. Finally, she found him sitting on the edge of the guest room bed, withdrawn and silent. He wasn't angry or pouting. He wasn't lashing out. He was just empty. Maya lingered in the doorway, waiting for him to speak. But Ethan stayed quiet. "Ethan," she ventured softly, "why are you sleeping in here?" No response. She pressed on, asking if he was still angry, if he planned to come back to bed. He barely looked at her. When he finally spoke, his voice was flat, void of bitterness or plea. "It's not about that night," he said quietly. The silence that followed spoke louder than words. Days passed. Nothing changed. Maya clung to hope, convincing herself Ethan just needed time to heal. But he only drifted farther away. If she entered a room, he left. If she tried to talk, he gave barely a nod. If she reached for him, he stiffened and pulled back. This wasn't just anger. It was something darker, something final. It was as if Ethan had erased her from his world, without saying a single word. Desperate, Maya tried everything she knew to reach him. She cooked his favorite meals, hoping the comfort of familiarity might soften his walls. She left notes filled with small apologies and promises to do better. She tried laughter, light touches, anything to break the silence. But nothing worked. For the first time, Maya understood. This wasn't just another fight. This was something breaking beyond repair. She recalled the painful truth Ethan had buried deep for years, a secret wound no one else knew about. Ethan had always been self-conscious about his body. Growing up, cruel rumors and mocking whispers haunted him. A high school locker room joke had turned into a lasting stigma, one that destroyed his confidence and shadowed his relationships. His last serious girlfriend had shattered him with a cold dismissal. "You just don't satisfy me." That moment had fractured his spirit, locking his pain away. Hidden from everyone, even from Maya until that night. Maya had thought their love was different. She thought she had been his safe place, his shield from past hurts. But her careless words ripped open that old scar, sending him spiraling back into shame and loneliness. For the first time, Ethan wasn't sure he could look at Maya the same way again. Weeks went by, and Maya's hope slowly turned to dread. One evening, she walked past the guest room and stopped dead. Ethan was packing. A suitcase lay open on the bed, clothes folded neatly inside. Her heart pounded wildly. "Ethan, are you really leaving?" she asked, her voice trembling. He gripped the suitcase edge, then looked at her with a tired, uncertain gaze. "I don't know if I can get past this," he said softly. The words hit her harder than any fight ever had. There was no anger, no shouting, only raw, painful truth. "I love you," Maya whispered through tears. "I'm sorry. I wish I could take it back. Tell me how to fix this." For a long moment, Ethan was silent. Then he said, "You can't take back what you said, and I can't unhear it." Her heart sank. But then, almost hesitantly, he added, "Maybe. I don't want to walk away. Not yet." It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't a promise. But it was something. And for now, it was all Maya could hold on to. Ethan didn't leave that night. But the damage was real, and the road to healing would be long. Maya knew some wounds don't fade overnight. The question was, could their love survive the silence? Thank you for watching this story of love, pain, and the struggle to heal. Sometimes the hardest battles are fought not with words, but with silence, and the courage to face what lies beneath. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more heartfelt journeys. And remember, every relationship has its battles, but healing is always possible when we choose to listen. Until next time, take care of yourselves and those you love.